An echo from radio's golden years attracts thousands of listeners to a unique radio station in St. John's, Newfoundland.
You're listening to Light and Easy on VOWR Radio for another afternoon. We trust you're enjoying this program. And up next, we have Johnny Cash.
VOWR is one of only 2 stations in Canada owned by a church. Both are in St. John's and were inherited by Canada when Newfoundland became a province in 1949. This was Wesley Methodist Church in 1924, and it was here in that year that regular broadcasting began in Newfoundland. Marconi had made his breakthrough in radio communication on Signal Hill overlooking St. John's just over 20 years before. The Reverend Mr. Joseph Joyce, the minister at Wesley Methodist, saw the possibilities for extending the gospel message. In a deal with Marconi himself, he acquired a 100-watt transmitter and began broadcasting with the call letters 8WMC. Today, Wesley Methodist is no more. It has become part of the United Church of Canada. VOWR has become a historic site, and an extension to the church houses the studios, well equipped and continually being upgraded to keep abreast of the latest technology. 10,000 watts of power sends a clear signal to a wide area of eastern Newfoundland. A display of the old equipment attests to 65 years of service to an ever-growing audience. Newspaper headlines through the years document the place this station holds in the hearts of its audience. 60 volunteers staff the station. They're from a variety of backgrounds and religious affiliations. For example, there's Randy Earle, a prominent St. John's lawyer.
I've always been interested in radio since I was active in radio at university. The opportunity to participate here came along, and it sort of grows on you. There's a definite slot for a non-commercial station, whether it's a religious station like this one or not. I mean, there's, albeit a minority audience out there, but there's a very definite audience that this station serves, and they deserve to be served.
Diane Driscoll is the Provincial Director of Consumer Affairs.
When I first became involved with VOWR, I was writing and recording a consumer program. Then I started in announcing with them, and I've been here now for about 8 years. So once I became used to announcing, then I began to enjoy it, and I hope that I'm hoping to provide some entertainment and comfort perhaps to a lot of the listeners, especially the older listeners, some of those who are sick and shut in.
Bob Ivany works in the sales and service field.
I work here at VOWR because it gives me the satisfaction of knowing that the music that we play and the programs that we send over the air are going out to many hundreds of people who are sick and shut in and who can't get out to church on Sundays, and we do bring them church services on Sunday.
John Tessier is a former professional broadcaster and city councillor.
When I came up here and offered my services, I found that I could get in and help out, and at first it was in an operating capacity, and then I did some announcing and there some technical work, so now it's almost a full-time job on a volunteer basis. So I enjoy it very much. It takes you away from the real world. You can sort of work at your own pace, work as much as you want to, and I find it very enjoyable, a lot of fun, and it's a useful type of volunteer job, as of course so many volunteer jobs are.
The busiest and most dedicated volunteer is 75-year-old Everett Hudson. He's been here since 1947. Sparing time from work in the first years and giving VOWR all his attention after retirement. He's proud of the station's record of service, especially to the various religious denominations.
The ecumenical spirit, which is becoming more pronounced every day, thank God, is very much evident from the various churches that we participate, who share in the services which we provide. You know, there's no charge for them. If they wish to make a contribution on an annual basis, fine and dandy. If they don't, it's perfectly all right. We still broadcast from them, you see. It says in the little book, go ye into all the world and do what you can, you know.
Doing what you can takes money, and as secretary to the board of directors, he knows how difficult that is to come by, especially when the only source of funds is the generosity of the public. The extent of that generosity was tested a few years ago when the tower fell in a storm. The whole community stepped in to help, led by organizations from various denominations. Several years ago, one of those, the Knights of Columbus, honored Everett Hudson as its choice for Citizen of the Year. Thousands of loyal listeners would applaud the choice. People like Ada Kennedy, who lives in a nursing home.
I like the church services. Us older people, we kind of look to, that's the only station really. You could go and get a service, church service. So I think myself that if you take that off, it's all gone for older people.
Jerry Dunn is a St. John's taxi driver.
Well, I like the old country and western, especially late Tuesday nights and Friday evenings and Saturday afternoons where you roll that 3-hour show. I feel that VOWR, their personnel, and that goes for all of them down there, that they're company for you, especially when you drive the taxi cab late in the night there. They seem to have that friendly smile. You can almost see them smile through the mic.
Sister Mary Matthew is confined to her convent because of a stroke and diabetes.
VOWR has become a wonderful friend of mine. There are times I feel sorry for myself, but then I hear VOWR and maybe a familiar song like Ramona or Let Me Call You Sweetheart, Hail Queen of Heaven, Panis Angelicus, and so many others that suddenly I find myself singing and I forget that I'm disabled and I feel full of vigor and young life again.
Lons Holloway is retired.
I like old-time music. That's why I'm a VOWR fan. And not only music, but I appreciate their public announcements. You know, their public service announcements, because you get an idea of what's going on back home, shall we say, when you're on the road, you know. So VOWR to me is a friend.
Les Critch is a fisherman.
VOWR seems to be the station for me. I listen to the country music and the church services, and I hope VOWR never go out the air, because I think I'll be losing your friend.
To sum up VOWR, what better than these thoughts from Sister Mary Matthew?
I do hope VOWR will stay on the air for many more years to come to bring peace, joy, and happiness to their listeners.
This is Kevin O'Connell in St. John's for the Spirit Connection.